Hi, this is Kimberly. This is a synopsis and a critique of Chapter 18 of the book Letters from Christopher, Tragic Confessions of the Watts Family Murders by Sherilyn Cadle. This chapter is titled First Confession. Well, isn't this ironic? The very first sentence in this chapter declares from the author, quote, "There are typos and grammatical errors, but these are word-for-word interviews," end quote. What? Did she see me coming? Has she been watching my videos? What is it exactly is she writing in this book? She's no longer even going through the motions. This is the third chapter in a row that she did not write herself. Thank goodness the DA released Discovery so she could replicate it for her book. The chapter starts with Discovery page 599 onward. This must be where the author got tired of trying to write a book. She's not even pretending anymore that it's her own words. The last three chapters have been a full-on copy-paste. That includes the 21 pages of interview from chapter 16. So, to the people taken up for Mrs. Cadle, patting her on the back and telling her good job, do you really feel as though you got your money's worth? I don't. I'm bored to tears with this. This chapter is 14 pages. 14 pages she didn't write. Let that sink in. Plus the other instances that I've told you about in previous chapters. If your standards are low and you don't demand excellence, then fine. Do you. But moving on, here's what happened in the chapter. She copied Agent Tammy Lee's post-test interview following the polygraph. The author changed it from Tammy's first-person account to Cadle's third-person account. So don't say it's word for word when it is not. I'm not saying one has to be perfect to be amazing. However, a fact-based book does demand exemplary fact-checking and not being a lazy writer. Tammy Lee told Chris she appreciated him coming in to take the polygraph, even though he knew he wasn't going to pass the test. However, the beginning of Chapter 18, Cadle says it was the FBI. Tammy Lee is with the CBI. Discovery has Agent Tammy Lee saying, quote, "I told Chris he stayed because he knew he needed to get everything off of his chest," end quote. The book says the FBI told him they appreciate him coming to take the polygraph test, even though he knew he wasn't going to pass the test, end quote. So far, I'm not seeing what the author told us in the first sentence, which was, quote, "There are typos and grammatical errors, but these are word-for-word interviews." They're not word-for-word. Chris claims he told the truth to the agents. Then he babbles on about wanting his family back. At this point in Tammy Lee's report, she includes what Agent Coder was saying as well, but the author does not let us know another person is included in the conversation. The novelist, writer, talks about a she and a he, meaning Lee and Coder, yet never told us how many agents are there questioning Chris. Chris admits to cheating on Shanann, but not to hurting her physically, only emotionally. He did not want to involve 𝐏𝐥𝐻𝐿 in this and ruin her life. But you were okay, Chris, with ruining all the lives you snuffed out, not to mention everyone that loved and still loves Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. You're a total jackass. And then we have to listen to Christopher go on and on ad nauseum about why he finds Nikki to be so enchanting. Coder told him to shut up about her and to get back to his missing family. Again, Cadle has not let the reader know that there is more than one agent questioning Chris, until this point when she says, "the agents." Chris maintains that he has no idea where his wife and children are located, and that the affair was the only thing he had been holding back on. The book says, quote, "The agent asked if they could go back and talk about that night," end quote. Chris agreed, and the agent told him they have his Alexa, which he claimed was trained to record distress. The way it was worded, it led me to think Chris was the one that said the Alexa was trained to record distress. For clarity, the Discovery said, quote, "Special Agent Coder told Chris the police had his Alexa, which he explained was trained to record distress." The agents asked Chris to tell them about the evening and morning he last saw Shanann. Supposedly, he woke her at 4:15 a.m. so they could discuss the status of their marriage, selling the house, and Chris's $68 dinner charge. He denied, then admitted, allegedly, an affair. Shanann was crying, and Chris claims to feel bad about this. Bullshit. Shanann had initiated contact with a realtor named Ann to get the ball rolling on selling the house, as neither could afford to live on their own after splitting up. I have no idea why the author chose to give us the first name of the real estate agent but not anyone else. It would have helped with clarity in the chapter as well as the entire book. 𝐏𝐥𝐻 again does not differentiate between Coder and Lee. They are she, he, him, her, they, and them. But anyway, Coder asked Chris to tell him about Shanann's pregnancy. Chris claims that they discussed the pros and cons of another baby, and then she told everyone after the fact that it was his idea. Chris again reiterated that he did nothing to make them vanish. 𝐏𝐥𝐻 misspelled them as then, 𝐻EN. I checked the discovery to see if it had been transcribed there incorrectly, and it had not. I was curious because, remember, she warned us about spelling and grammar, because if you recall, she freely admitted to copying this supposedly word for word from the discovery interviews. I was going to cut her a break in this area today, but her disclaimer is why I wanted to investigate the misspelling. She then says in her book, and I assume it is Coder she is referring to, the agent asked him, "What happened to your wife and kids before you drove out of the driveway?" But this is what was in Agent Tammy Lee's report. Special Agent Coder asked Chris what happened with his wife and kids before he drove out of the driveway. But this is what was in Agent Tammy Lee's report. Special Agent Coder asked Chris what happened next, and Chris said he drove out of the driveway. Special Agent Coder asked Chris what happened with his wife and kids before he drove out of the driveway. End quote. So she's quoting someone as having said something, when in actuality Tammy Lee put in her report a paraphrase. So Tammy Lee did not quote Coder at this time, but 𝐏𝐥𝐻's quoting him in the book. It's wrong. By the way, Chris said, "I didn't do anything with them. They were still in the house." Chris conveyed he couldn't bring himself to tell Shanann about the affair, but earlier he said he did tell her about the affair. He's so damn wishy-washy. This is not surprising given that he's a candy-ass coward chicken shit. So yeah, I doubt he really told her. When questioned on how the future looked, Chris went on to lie, saying he anticipated a 50-50 child custody arrangement and that he was going to take it slow with Nikki to see if anything developed. Slow? In a little less than 6 weeks, it went from casual, flirty work email to "I feel the need to annihilate my entire family." In a relationship that proceeds slowly, one does not seek to explore every sexual position known to man, and then to invent some erotic new ones. In a relationship that proceeds slowly, one does not discuss having a baby, specifically a boy. In a relationship that proceeds slowly, one does not peruse wedding dresses for hours on end, and accept a key to the sex dungeon, I mean her apartment. The book says, quote, "The agent told Christopher he had a hard time believing that he had an emotional conversation with Shanann where they both were crying, but he had yet to shed one tear over the 2 days they had been interviewing him." She says he, as though Coder was saying this about not crying. It was actually Tammy that was talking about this. I'll include the interrogation video at the end of this for those that care to watch it. Tammy Lee continues to tell Chris he is not acting appropriately for someone whose children are missing. Chris responds to this by saying, "I love those girls to death." The book quotes Chris as saying, "I'm showing you the Christopher that cares about his girls and wife." However, Tammy paraphrased this in her report. This is what it said, quote, "Chris said he was showing us the Chris who cared about his girls and wife," end quote. We don't know the exact quote as Tammy paraphrased it for her report. It is in the video, but 𝐏𝐥𝐻 was going from Tammy's post-interview report. 𝐏𝐥𝐻 was incorrect to quote something that was not quoted, not to mention that Tammy said Chris and not Christopher when she talked about him. Tammy Lee never referred to him as Christopher. 𝐏𝐥𝐻 quoted one of the agents as saying, "Are we not asking you the right questions?" end quote, when it was paraphrased in the report. She keeps doing this over and over. In another place, there's a slight error leaving off the letter S that made a word plural. Hey, if you're going to say this is a complete copy of the report, then it should be a complete copy of the report. You know, complete, not half-assed. There are only two ways of doing things, the right way or the wrong way. There are a few more failures to copy and paste that I'm not going to share with you. It's monotonous, and I'm tired of talking about it. How do you fuck up copy-paste? Coder and Lee talk with Chris about some of the medical issues concerning the girls, about a criminal cold case, and about some crime instances Tammy has seen in the past. Agent Lee explains to Chris that some parents think they are saving their child from pain by killing them. And Copycat 𝐾𝐥𝐬 just fucking glazes over this shit. This was something that needed to be explored. She should have asked Fuckface about, because the look on his face when Tammy was talking about it, and he was very interested. This needed to be delved into. The author quotes Tammy, who she refers to as she. 𝐾𝐥𝐬 says in her book, quote, "We are making you a lifeline, and I need you to take it," end quote. However, CBI agent Tammy said in her report, quote, "I told Chris we were giving him a lifeline, and he needed to reach out and take it," end quote. No, you can't do that. Don't make up a cozy little quote out of what was paraphrased in the report that Tammy did. You said you were stealing this, copying directly from the report. Mrs. 𝐾𝐥𝐬 said at the beginning of this chapter, quote, "There are typos and grammatical errors, but these are word-for-word interviews," end quote. And then she doesn't do it. They aren't word-for-word interviews. She goes chaotically back and forth in this chapter. If you say word for word, then do exactly that. The agent showed Chris a photograph of Bella and Cece and asked if they looked like the photograph. Instead of answering, Chris pointed to Celeste and talked about a recent time she had worn the dress and the buttons on it. Agent Lee inquired if the girls were warm when they left the house. Chris, of course, was confused. He's perpetually confused. He said they were warm and always warm in their beds. But this is not what was copied into the chapter, as it is in Tammy Lee's notes, which is normally just fine to reword a passage, and that's what you do, not when you distinctly point out these are word-for-word interviews. She misquotes both Chris and Agent Lee. Chris said, quote, "I did not do anything to these kids," end quote. 𝐾𝐥𝐬 quoted him as saying, "I did not do anything to these girls," end quote. Just quote him correctly. Agent Lee paraphrased in Discovery page 602, "I told Chris I was getting concerned that maybe he did something to all three of them." 𝐾𝐥𝐬 quoted her as saying, "I'm getting worried maybe you did something to all three of them," end quote. So Agent Lee asked Nimrod what Shanann did to the girls. Then he asked to speak to his daddy. 𝐾𝐥𝐬 quotes Lee because she said she, and she was the only she there. Remember, she wasn't doing names. It was just he, she, her, him, they, and them. But page 143 of her book, 𝐾𝐥𝐬 quotes Agent Lee as saying, "Will you tell your dad what happened?" end quote. In Tammy Lee's report, she said, quote, "Special Agent Coder asked Chris if he would please tell his dad what happened," end quote. 𝐾𝐥𝐬 says she recommended his dad come into the room since there was a lot of activity in the lobby area of the police department. She, of course, being Agent Tammy Lee. Tammy's report on Discovery page 602 said, quote, "Special Agent Coder recommended Chris's dad come into the interview room instead since there was a lot of activity in the lobby area of the police department," end quote. So she just keeps screwing up what she put in the chapter when she said in the beginning, "Hey, I am just going to copy and paste this as is. Misspellings, grammar, and all of that shit." And then she didn't do it. Then 𝐾𝐥𝐬 says, she said, quote, "It seems you want to get everything off your chest," end quote. Discovery page 602 reads, "Special Agent Coder asked Chris what he would tell his dad, and Chris said he would tell his dad he loved him and wanted him to be by his side. Special Agent Coder told Chris that it seemed he wanted to get everything off his chest," end quote. So The author has several times mixed up the agents in reporting who said what. This book is not to be trusted as a source of information on the Watts family murders. There's just too many inaccuracies. There are several more instances of 𝐏𝐥𝐻 using the pronoun she when referring to 𝐭𝐲, who is a male. There are a handful of instances of the author quoting someone when 𝐸𝐺𝐻 is paraphrasing it in her report, and vice versa. The chapter goes on to have Chris describing the emotional conversation he and Shanann had. Chris says Shanann was crying and had mascara running down her face. 𝐁𝐸 expressed concern that having Chris's dad in the room would distract the imbecile, Christopher. The two agents met with Ronnie Watts in the lobby area of the police station. The words, quote, Papa Ronnie, end quote, was embroidered across the chest area of his polo shirt. This is why that I have always referred to him as Papa Ronnie. Agents Lee and 𝐁𝐸 explained to Ronnie Watts that Chris had requested his presence. They explained that everything would be recorded, then escorted him to the room. Chris began telling his father lies and told his dad, quote, I don't want to protect her. I don't want to protect her, but I don't know what else to say, end quote. Ronnie asked him what happened, and Chris replied, she hurt them. Chris said, and then I freaked the fuck out. And then I freaked out and hurt her. Chris chattered on and on with fabrications with regard to Shanann. 𝐏𝐻𝐻 incorrectly quotes Ronnie in this chapter. 𝐏𝐻𝐻 says that Ronnie said, quote, was she choking Celeste and did she kill Celeste? The report in Discovery page 603 actually says, Ronnie asked Chris if Shanann was choking 𝐶𝐶 and if Shanann killed 𝐶𝐶. Incorrect. Quote, I freaked out and did the same fucking thing to her, end quote. The real quote, I freaked out and did the same thing to fucking her. 𝐏𝐻𝐻 does another quote from Chris when Tammy paraphrased it for her report, when Chris mumbled to his daddy that he was never going to see the light of day. The agents came back into the room and asked Chris to tell them what he had told his father. So he told that tired old story of how he was simply minding his own business, going about his morning routine, while Shanann supposedly went into the children's room and caused them to die. Then Chris swooped in and lost it and did the same thing to her. Chris babbles incoherently about kids being blue. Quote, they're gone. There's no bringing them back, end quote. Chris finally tells them that he put everyone in his truck and took his pregnant wife and 2 daughters' remains and left them at Survey 319, then informed them of the horrible truth about exactly where their bodies were, Shanann in a shallow grave near a field, and Bella and Celeste each in a tank of crude oil. Ronnie was concerned and engrossed in his phone, then found the doll photo and informed the agents that this picture was basically proof that Shanann not only killed the children but planned it. Are you fucking kidding me? Allow me to read from the Discovery for a moment. But before I do, if someone had just given me the news that Ronnie had received of my daughter-in-law and grandchildren, I can't even say what happened to them, but I would be on the floor crying hysterically. They would have to drag me out by my feet. That said, this is what I wanted to read from Discovery, page 604, which again is a report written by CBI agent Tammy Lee. Quote, at that point, Ronnie asked us to look at Shanann's Facebook page. Ronnie explained 2 days ago, Shanann posted a photograph of a 5-foot-tall baby doll that was laying on the couch. Ronnie said the doll was completely covered with a sheet. I'm thinking this might have been planned. I don't know, end quote. And he said the caption read, what do you say to this? Ronnie said the sheet covered the doll's head, and the only thing sticking out was the doll's feet. He said Shanann commented that Bella had put the sheet on the doll, said a kid wouldn't do such a thing. Special Agent 𝐁𝐸𝐻 asked Chris if he recalled the incident, and Chris said Shanann made fun of it and thought it was funny. I asked Chris if Bella did it. He said he didn't know because he couldn't recall. Right. And he said he was around Bella and Bella would only cover her baby dolls up to their stomach. Also that he never saw Bella cover a doll's head like it was a body. Agent Lee's report continues to say, Chris then looked at Special Agent 𝐁𝐸𝐻 and said he was sorry for lying to us. Special Agent Coder told Chris he was a good man, and Chris immediately responded, quote, "I'm not a good man," end quote. Thank you, Christopher. That's the first step in admitting that you are a stark raving mad lunatic. Back to the chapter that was disclosed, it was word for word, and then turned out not to be. Chris agreed to show the agents where everyone was located at Survey 319. The asshole panicked at the thought of one of his co-workers showing law enforcement the site due to opinions they may form about him. My God, what a freaking narcissist. The agent stepped out of the room and Chris started whining to Daddy about not knowing what to do, and he wasn't sure if the police believed him. Oh, wow, what a baby you are. Chris told Ronnie that his mother always said Shanann was an unstable person, but he never believed in a million years, quote, that this could happen. Ronnie said he didn't have a clue Shanann could do such a thing. Chris asked his dad, "Why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to those two little girls?" "To you, Chris? To you? You speak as though you were a flippant innocent bystander." Ronnie did the whole there, son, it's not your fault bit. Chris told his dad Shanann had a temper and that she would be fine one minute and not the next. Well, Chris, all I can say to that is you should have stopped doing and saying shit to piss her off. Chris started doing his begging God for forgiveness routine while Ronnie was driveling on about how he didn't know how unstable Shanann was. The author mentions this again as she did in a previous chapter. Quote, Ronnie replied that his wife, Cindy, believed she was unstable, a narcissist, and bipolar, end quote. I guess Cato figured this rude statement needed to be in the book twice. This was not in the chapter in the Letters from Christopher book that we are discussing, but I got it from Discovery on the very same page as when Ronnie came into the picture during Chris's first false confession. I'm wondering why this was not put into the book. This is a passage from Discovery, page 605. Quote, Ronnie asked Chris what Shanann said that morning when he told her everything. Chris said Shanann asked him why and asked him why he wanted to give up. Chris said Shanann told him, quote, fuck you and fuck you and fuck you, end quote. Shanann, I concur. That will be the end of this video. I will pick up with chapter 19 in the next one. Thank you for listening.
So I brought Graham in here because we want to talk to you about the results, okay?
Sure.
So it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I know.
Chris, stop. It's time.
Just
Stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach. And when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this. And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today. And you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what? I just need to get this off my chest. Like, I just need to tell you what happened. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened. So can you start from the beginning and tell us what happened?
Everything that I've told you, I did not lie on this polygraph. I don't know how much I could tell you right now. Like, I did not.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph. So I know you were being deceptive. So that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. That's the issue right now.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
I
know you want to tell us. I can see it in your face. Holding this lie in is going to do nothing for you.
I know this. Like,
Okay.
I'm not, like, trying to, like, cover things up. Like,
Yeah, but you kind of are, because it's normal. Normal people would do that. Normal people that make a mistake initially are going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. That's normal. I would expect that. It's just like if you ask your kid, you know, did you write on the wall? And they go, no. And you're like, you have marker on your hand. Like, I know you just wrote on the wall. And they're like, oh, okay. That's a natural reaction that someone's going to initially lie about something like that and then eventually tell the truth. So this is your eventually telling the truth time. This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I'm not trying to make anything continue. Like, I want them back home, like.
But you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
I don't know in the back of my head. I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
I hope they come back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know they're not coming back home.
Chris, Tammy and I are confused. Okay. And here's what we're confused about. I told you that we've done some work overnight.
Yeah.
I told you that we've got a lot of leads. Okay. That wasn't a lie.
I know.
We know a lot more than we think we do. Okay. And here's where we're confused. You're this great guy, and I'm not just telling you that, okay? I'm telling you that because everyone tells us that, okay? We can't find anyone to say anything bad about you. Chris is a great guy. He's a good father. He's a good man. We're confused as to why you're not taking care of your beautiful children.
I'm not taking care of them right now.
Right now. Where are they?
I don't know where they're at. Honestly, I do not know where they are at. If I could have my babies back home right now, I would. I want them back. I want everybody back. That is the God's honest truth.
So let's keep talking about your family. Okay? We just can't figure out why there's two Chris's. Okay? We talked about that last night.
Yes.
We just can't figure it out. There's a Chris. Okay? If somebody asked me my kid's child routine, I would say, I don't know, go ask their mom. That's the truth, right? And so it is very surprising to me, and it warms my heart that you're the type of dad who can pack a bag in the morning, and you know just what to put in there, and you know just what to put in there as a backup in case they have an accident, okay? You know what the clothes to put in there, you know what they have for breakfast, you know what they have for a snack, and a dinner, and a nighttime snack. You can tell me the book you read to your daughters, okay? I know you love them, and you're not faking that, are you? That's real, okay? There's a lot of guys who come in here and try to tell me that, and I know they're lying, okay? Because they can't answer those questions that you can answer, okay? But you are here today lying about something else. So we need to talk about that, okay?
I cheated on her.
I know. And this is very good. Keep
I'm not proud of it. I didn't think anything like that could happen. I don't think I'd ever do it, but I did.
I know. Keep going.
And she accused me of it. I denied it. I cheated on her, and I feel horrible for it. Like, she was pregnant, and it was I don't want to. I didn't hurt her. I cheated on her. I hurt her emotionally. I cheated on her. And I feel absolutely horrible about this, but that's what I've been holding. When I didn't go to the Rocky game, I was with her.
Okay.
I went to dinner with her.
Okay. Keep going.
That 5 weeks I was alone, I was with her most of the time.
Okay. You're doing a good job. This is the Chris that I knew would come out today. This is the Chris who tells the truth because you're a truth teller.
When I tell you I fell out of love, it's because I fell in love with her.
Absolutely.
Okay? I mean, that's God's honest truth.
Okay. Who is her?
So I don't want to get her involved in this. I don't want to ruin her life. Like it's something like this. I don't want her involved in this.
Okay. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
I knew that you would say you didn't want to get her involved. Because you'd like to take care of people.
She's a wonderful person. Like, I mean, she knew I was married, yes. And I told her we were going through issues, yes. And I told her that, we were going to get, at the end, like, you're going to get separated. Like, once I figured out what that was, I didn't know what that was going to be.
I know.
I had no idea. I saw her, took my breath away, and I'd never thought in a million years that could happen.
I know.
I know you think I'm a figure, it was, I never felt that way about anybody in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Chris, that's not your fault, man. Can we do this? I know you want to take care of her it's because you're the type of guy that takes care of women. It is. You took care of your wife, you took care of your daughters, you were very good at taking care of her, and you want to take care of her. So can we make a deal? I don't think this girl did anything to hurt anybody, but I can't walk out of here wondering. So can we leave her out of it?
Okay.
And get back to your wife and your daughters.
Okay.
Where are they?
That I do not know. That was what I was holding back. Like, I didn't know, what I did. I know.
Chris, in an interview today, you weren't asked about infidelity. You were asked about...
I was holding back from last night.
That's not why you feel today.
That's not how that works. You would have reactions to every single question, not just the ones that we talked about being important.
Like the ones you wanted me to lie about, is that what you're talking about?
No, the ones about her disappearance and knowing where she's at and about seeing her last.
I was not lying about those things. So
can I tell you what I think?
Yes.
Okay. So, going into that interview today with Tammy, where we strapped you in, we knew all about Nikki. Okay? All about her. And you're doing a very good job right now, because you didn't have to tell us about her, but you did.
I couldn't hold that in anymore.
I know. We could see it on your chest.
I can't.
In your eyes. Okay? Here's the challenge that we have. We knew about Nikki, and so we didn't need to ask you about her in the polygraph. We just didn't need to, because we knew. Okay? And so that's why we didn't ask you, because we already knew the answer. Okay? We're very, very worried about your daughters and your wife.
I am too.
Okay? So can I tell you, maybe based on the people that I've talked to, and Tammy's talked to, based on all the investigations we've done, based on your cell phone, both your cell phones, your wife's cell phone, Nikki's cell phone, okay, based on talking with family members and friends, and based on talking with everyone, here's what we know, okay? And I'm not going to lie to you right now. Here's what we know, okay? Chris is a good man. Everyone said it, okay? I'm not just telling you that because I, want to blow smoke here. You're a good man, okay? Nobody can fake answers about packing a backpack. Nobody. You either pack a backpack for your kids or you don't, okay? This should have been the happiest time of your marriage. Okay? You and Shanann. This should have been the happiest time. She's making a little money. She's making good money. You're making great money. You both have a job. You have beautiful kids. You have a beautiful house. You're in Colorado. Clean air, good people. Okay? And on top of that, you look pretty good now. You're pretty fit. Okay? This should have been a time in your marriage where you guys were happy and thriving and productive. Okay? And I believe that Shanann's the reason none of that happened. I believe that she's a controlling person. Maybe doesn't listen to you as much as she should. I think that she can do whatever she wants and you can't. Okay? I think if you were to go to a restaurant, she would order whatever the hell she wants. And as soon as you order a nice steak, she says, whoa, buddy. Okay? A woman that lets her man do all of the backpack packing and all of the cooking.
I'll do all the cooking, but like she cooks like I do like some things here and there.
Okay. That's because you're a good person, and I think that she started on the path to leave the marriage. Okay. It's ironic that we're talking about you and Nikki. I think that she was the one who started on that path first. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't have thought about
that. Yeah. And the other thing I think is interesting is, even though she is that type of person that's controlling, doesn't listen, does what she wants, is walking away from her kids, here you are defending her. Because to your core, you want to take care of the people you love. Okay. And that's the reason why we want to give you an opportunity today to just help us find them. Okay. Will you do that for us?
I'll do whatever I can to help to find where they're at.
Okay. So when she asked you, do you know where they are, or are you going to tell the truth about where they are, you failed miserably.
Okay.
Why?
I'm a nervous person. Like every question I asked, every question, it felt like I wouldn't say the right thing.
That's not how the polygraph works.
I don't know like what it reads like. I know she was saying about the autonomy of the process, but like I don't know where they're at.
Chris, right now your dad's outside. He flew across the country to help you. Okay. You're lying to him. You lied to everyone you talked to. And they all bought it. Will you please help us find your babies?
I want to find them. I've told you over and over, I want to find everyone.
Can we go back to that night?
Yeah.
You know that we have texts. And we know that there's an Alexa in your house.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that those are trained to record distress.
Okay.
You know that we know the content of Nikki's text messages and your text messages and Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew where Nikki was until right now. So.
Okay. Tell us about that night again. And please tell the truth this time.
I told you the truth. I promise I've told you the truth. Like, I woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock. Got dressed, got ready. 4:15, me and Shanann talked about the house, about separation.
Did you guys talk about Nikki?
She accused me of like, all right, what, you know, is there somebody else?
Sure.
I didn't say it.
You denied it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she brought up like, you know, like, well, was there a $68 charge on dinner the other night?
Okay.
Was there 2 of you?
And that was with 2 of you, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Nikki.
Okay. So it sounds like at that time there was maybe you weren't quite ready to just say, man, this is everything.
I couldn't say it.
Okay.
We were already crying hard enough. I couldn't say that.
Okay. What did you say?
I just told her like, this separation has to go. I want separation.
Okay. Was it her idea to sell the house or yours?
She initiated the realtor the week before in an email.
Why?
Because we were talking about the marital issues. She's like, well, you can't afford to live on our own. Well, she can't afford to live on her own, and I can't afford to live on my own. So she's like, we need to contact Ann.
Okay, see. And who'd you contact?
Well, she contacted Ann, our realtor.
Ann?
Yeah.
Okay. Would Ann say the same thing, that your wife initiated the contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
She would. And then on Monday, I texted her to see if what she could do.
Okay.
And that's in there too. You probably already knew that.
Tell me about the pregnancy. Was that your idea or hers?
She said she was about 80-20. Well, when we did the pros and cons of it, like after she got pregnant, she told everybody that it was mainly my idea.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a boy.
Did you want to get pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then after the fact, she said it was mainly me that wanted it, and she was about, she was 70-30 against it at that point. Like, she would tell her friends that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what, 70-30 against it? Like, why?
Mm. Okay. Can you understand that some of this just doesn't make sense to us? Okay. How is it possible that a woman and 2 kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth?
I promise you, I have nothing on my hands I did nothing to those kids or her to make them vanish.
So tell me what happened then. I believe you that you did nothing on your hands. What happened?
When I left, I mean, it's on video that I left and I was in my truck. I didn't load anything into my truck besides my tools, my container, my book bag, my water jug, my lunchbox.
Okay. But then what happened?
I drove out of the driveway.
No, before you drove out of the driveway. What happened with your wife and your kids?
I didn't do anything with them. They were still in the house.
Where are they? Where did they go?
I don't know. Sir, I really don't know.
Your wife's not the type of person to vanish.
I know she's not.
She had 10 things on her schedule that meant she was going to be there the next day, that day, the day after that, with friends, with a doctor. Okay? She didn't leave because she wanted to.
Okay.
So what happened?
I didn't do anything to her or the kids.
Was it an accident?
I didn't do anything.
Was it an accident?
There was no accident. I don't know if there was an accident in the house. I wasn't there for it.
It's a big deal if it's an accident, because we can work with that, Chris.
No.
And I think that's maybe what happened.
I did not cause an accident. I didn't do anything to my wife and kids.
Was it a misunderstanding?
There's no misunderstanding. We had that talk. There was a misunderstanding where I didn't tell her about the affair.
Okay.
I didn't. That was the misunderstanding.
Miscommunication, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Good.
But I probably should have told her right then. Honestly. I mean, everything was out on the table anyways.
Right.
I should have just told her right then. But I didn't, because I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
What was your plan? What were you going to do? I mean, how was the separation going to work?
Once we got separated, I'll get my own place, and then 50-50 split with the kids. I was hoping.
Mm-hmm. What about Nikki?
Take it slow and just see if anything develops, when I'm, have my own place.
Okay.
I just find it hard to hear you talk about just having this emotional, conversation with Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here. Not one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls, and you have not shed one tear over them not being around. Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds, and I start to go panic. I have not seen any of that from you at all. Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do anything just because I haven't shed a tear.
No, that's weird. Is that weird?
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
Tell
I love
me,
my wife.
explain to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her.
Yeah.
But you don't cry that your two little baby girls
I'm hoping they're still around somewhere. I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
Yeah, but you
alive.
don't have them right now. You're not reading stories to them at night.
I know.
You're not giving them midnight snacks. You're not giving them their medicine. You're not waking up with them in the morning.
I know this.
So that should cause you pain.
It does cause me pain.
But I don't see that. I don't see that. I want to see the Chris that cares. I want to see the Chris that, feels bad about what he did and wants to, get this off his chest and be done with this. And let us find your little girls so that they're not out there in the middle of a field or whatever somewhere. Don't do that.
I love those girls to death.
Then show us that. Show us that. Show us this Chris, not this Chris.
I'm not showing you that Chris. I'm showing you the Chris that cares about his girls and his wife. Just because I haven't shed a tear, it shouldn't make you feel like that the love isn't there for them.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense to me.
I understand that.
You have to.
I totally see where you're coming from. Trust me, there's nothing. Just because
Chris, people can be pushed to the point where they do something that they regret. It happens every single day.
I know.
But part of what makes you a man is the guy that goes, really fucked up, but this is what I did, and I'm going to pay for what I did, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to be honest about it.
Chris, we can keep talking to you once we find these girls, okay? And once we find these girls and your wife, right, no matter how we find them, no matter what condition they're in, we can keep talking to you, and you can tell us, guys, it's not as bad as it looks. And you can say, let me tell you what happened. I was never comfortable with you, Graham, or with you, Tam. I wasn't comfortable yet, but now that everything's known, now that these girls are found and Shanann's found, however they're found, it's okay. We can keep talking to you. Okay?
Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
No, you would have known, because they didn't leave the house. Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann?
They were at the house when I left. They were there.
They weren't there. They didn't leave. They vanished.
They were there.
The only way they could have left is in your truck.
There's no way, because I didn't just throw them in my truck.
You know your truck has GPS,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Because you even told your boss, hey, I'm going to separation, I'm maybe staying at a friend's house, whatever. You know that thing pings every 10 seconds?
Yep.
So we will know exactly where you went.
And your company's giving that to us.
I know.
Okay. Are we not asking the right questions, Chris?
No, you're asking all the questions.
What are we not asking you right? What are we doing wrong?
You're not doing anything wrong.
Did Shanann do something?
I don't think she did anything to these kids. We both love them with all our hearts. There's no way.
It could have been an accident. Something happened in the house that you know about. You failed the polygraph test, Chris. This is not about, did you leave and your wife vanished and you didn't know anything about it. That was not what you were asked, okay?
Okay.
We know that something happened to all three of them. But I want to know, did something happen to these baby girls first that you had to take into your own hands and deal with?
You had to clean it up for Shanann.
Chris, you got to tell us. There's something that happened to these baby girls. Look at them.
I know. Before you came in, I was just watching videos.
We have no doubt you love these girls with all of your heart. I have no doubt. But we make mistakes.
And that's okay.
It's what we do with those mistakes that make us who we are.
Chris, it seems like you're thinking about it right now. What are you thinking about?
She couldn't have.
I feel like you cleaned up for her. I feel like that's the type of guy that you are. Which one of these has the breathing thing?
Well, they both have inhalers, but CC has the EOE. Encephalitis esophagitis.
Does she have problems breathing?
Only like with her allergies and whatnot, like if she had anything next, but she's home with the endoscopies and everything and the surgeries I told you about.
Do you think she had trouble breathing that night? And Shanann freaked out? And didn't want to live without her baby girl?
So.
Did you hear about the homicide that happened in Aurora? The guy beat that family to death with a ball-peen hammer.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that survived was a 3-year-old sibling. And that sibling grew up to be a total mess. No family, no mom and dad, no brother or sister. Just her by herself. She says, I wish I would have died with them. And there are times that people freak out. I've seen it. I mean, I've been in law enforcement for almost 20 years. I've seen it. Parents freak out and they're like, oh my God, like, I can't have my baby girls live without each other. They're best friends. They're like twins. They're, they wake each other up in the morning. And I understand that. We had a mom in Castle Rock that suffocated both her baby girls. She's like, my husband was going to take them. And she's like, I just couldn't handle it. I thought I was doing right by them. I thought I was saving them pain. And I get it.
Why? Why was she saving the pain?
Because she didn't want them to have to live without their mom.
Chris, this is a weight that's going to be on you for the rest of your life until we resolve it tonight. Unless we can talk about this more tonight, it's going to follow you forever. I promise you, when you start talking to us, you will feel better. I know you already feel better about getting the Nikki off your chest.
Please don't like involve her in this or anything like that. She can't do that.
You got to help me.
I don't know.
Chris, we're giving you a lifeline right now. You need to take it. You need to reach out and take it.
Did they look like this the last night you were with them?
She had that dress on, like, on the 8th or 9th. It wasn't in this, but she had that dress on. I remember I had 2 buttons on the back. I'd take them off so I could get her pajamas on that night.
Did you guys make sure they were warm when they left the house?
Make sure they were warm. They're always warm. They always have, when they're in their beds, they're always warm.
Okay. Were you guys taking care of them at the very end?
They're always taken care of. They never miss a meal.
Chris, you took them out of the house with their blankets and their animals. Like, that's because you cared. That's what a caring dad does.
I mean, I'm always caring for these kids. There's nothing in this for my life.
I believe that. And I believe someone made a mistake, whether it was you or Shanann. And you either cleaned up after Shanann or you made the mistake. And I mean, I want to believe that maybe Shanann did it and you felt compelled to fix this so Shanann didn't look bad. That's what I want to believe. But I don't know. You're not telling me that, so it makes me think the worst. Like, did you do that to all 3 of them?
I did not do anything to these kids. Not do anything.
What did Shanann do to them? Tell us, Chris. Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely. Do you want to bring him in here?
No, I just can't talk to my dad. Like, he flew across the country.
Hey, Chris,
I can't.
how about this? If we brought your dad in here, would you please tell him what happened?
Can I just go talk to him? I've been in here for like 5 or 6 hours, and I'm like...
Absolutely. Chris, look at me, man. It's not going to feel any better. He deserves an answer.
It's your best friend.
There's only one person you wanted here most, and that's your dad.
Yes.
What would you tell him?
I love him, and I just want him to be by my side.
Okay. He knows more than we do that you're a good man. And he knows as much as you want to protect your wife, Shanann. I think he would tell you to do the right thing. Before we get him...
Can I go out there and talk to him?
Well, I don't know that you want to do it up there because there's a lot of people going through the halls. Should we bring him in here?
We'll step out. Okay.
Do you need a few minutes with him?
Okay.
Okay. Can we just ask a couple more questions? It seems like you're about to get it off your chest. Is there any way that you can help us understand more about Shanann and why maybe something happened, so that we don't get a bad picture about her? And what I mean is, what happened that night with her?
As far as like after I talked to her?
With the girls.
Like when we were having that conversation in bed there.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I talked to her about the separation and the house, and she asked me about the affair, and
Okay.
and that's how that conversation went.
Okay.
She was distraught. She had like mascara running down her face, all that, and
Okay.
it was emotional.
Well, how about this? If we bring in your dad, will you promise me that you'll talk to him?
I'll talk to her.
Okay. Will you promise me that you'll tell him everything? Would it be easier if you told him and he told us?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to be easy or not. I tend to think it's not. I think you're the type of guy that needs to take responsibility because you always have taken responsibility. You've always made the right choice. So I guess I'm just worried that if we bring your dad in here, that could distract you. What do you think?
Distract me from like talking to you.
Yeah.
I just need to talk to him.
Okay. All right. I know you'll do the right thing. I do. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think that you need to think a little bit more about that. Okay.
And you need to realize that your dad is not going to stop loving you no matter what you tell him. You are his child, and he will not stop loving you.
Never.
Ever.
And this is not the last chapter in anyone's story at all. Okay. He's been here the whole time. You know, he didn't want to leave you. Have you ever seen sometimes when an animal's owner dies, they stick around forever? I think that's your dad. Poor guy didn't want to leave today, okay? So keep that in mind. He wants to hear it all. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And polygraph failed it. Yeah, because there's
Too much emotions.
So I mean, they're not gonna let me go.
Is there any reason why they shouldn't?
They know I had an affair. And they know. I can't complain about that.
They know you had an affair.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on, or what happened, or anything? Or you know anything about?
When we had that conversation that morning, it was emotional. It was told her about separation and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. What happened after that?
I mean, I went downstairs and I want to protect her.
What?
I want to protect her.
You don't want to protect her?
I don't know what else to say.
What happened? Huh? She hurt him?
Yeah. And
What now?
I doubt not her.
You hurt her. Did they leave after that? Or what? No. So she started hurting the kids.
They were.
Well, you guys what happened? What? She smothered him. Or choking him. No.
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone. I don't know, like me talking to her about that. Talking to her about separation and everything, about
She lost it.
I don't know, like, what else to say, like, I freaked out. Those are my kids.
So she found it that one time. You were leaving this and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And she freaked out over the separation and everything.
Like, she laid back down, but that's when I went downstairs, but I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm. And then you went back upstairs and she was...
I could see, like, she was not.
Choking her, or did she kill her?
They're blue.
Both of them.
Yeah.
She choked both of them to death.
I freaked out at the same thing. I don't want to say it though.
No, just...
I didn't like call cops about it.
So what did you do? Haul the bodies off or something?
I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I
freaked
freaked out. I didn't know nothing else to do. I didn't know what to do.
So she killed 𝐿𝐶𝐶, choked him to death. You lost it and choked her. Or...
Mm-hmm. That's rage. I hadn't. Like, in her heart, I know she knew about the affair. She just was waiting for me to say something and for me to deny it again. She just lost it.
That's when she went off and told her about it.
That's when the crying, like, happened. And that's what happened.
She lost it when we told her about her confirming the affair.
What? I didn't tell her how long. She just knew. She just knew. I could deny it all at once. She just knew.
She killed both over the separation of the affair.
Well, I think she just knew, like, the affair was happening, but I just denied it.
But you told her before that about the separation.
But, you know, she was hoping we'd go to counseling or something. I didn't like the counseling.
She lost it. And the separation. Did she bring up the affair that morning too?
Mm-hmm. knowing the affair was going on, but we just profusely denying it.
I never did. I mean, I told her she more or less knew something was going on. She actually killed both her children. And you snapped. Yeah, you find a lawyer. See what you can do. Take the rage.
What's that?
Hold it.
Is it okay? You sure? Chris, help us work through this with you, okay? Will you tell us what you told your dad?
After that conversation,
Water.
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
After that conversation we had, and she accused me of the affair, she, in her heart, she knew what was going on. And she knew about the dinner the other night. It was too much for just me.
She knew about what now?
When I told her I went to a Rockies game, I went up to bed. I went downstairs.
And that's when you told her about the separation.
Well, that was when I was upstairs in bed. And told her, what I wanted, and I wanted a separation. And that's what I want. I went downstairs and started packing up a few things. I heard a couple of things upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. Continued this own thing and get ready to get everything packed up.
Next.
I went upstairs and I was going to talk to her again. I saw on the monitor, Bella's covers were pulled off and she was just laying there. She was just hot. It's like all over her feet. She was in there with her. On top of her. Choking her. Freaked out. I ran in there and got on top of her.
What'd you do?
Blue. Those are my babies. Those are my kids.
What happened?
Something that hurt.
To Shanann? Where were you at?
there. I put it back in our bed. Shanann.
Is you okay? Okay. What happened next?
I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. I'm shaking. Like both my kids are blue and they're gone. And I'm just like blind, just, I'm not that person, like, I'm just like, she hurt my kids. I feel like I had to do the same thing to her.
So what happened after she was in your bed?
In there, and I didn't know what to do. It was, she's back and covered her up. I didn't know what to do.
Where are they now? Find your babies. Did the hard part. All you have left is to tell us where they're at.
We can help you get them out of the cold.
They're gone. There's no bringing them back.
Well, where are they?
At that first location I went to that day.
Where at?
That's every 319.
Where at? That location?
Right there off the site. Right there.
How did you pick that site?
First site I was supposed to take them there.
Where would we find them there?
I didn't know what to do.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking do. Like none of this made sense. Why would she hurt my fucking girls?
So, Chris, are they in something? Are they under the ground? Like, where would you find them? You take us out there?
There's no way I want to go out there. I mean, I will if you want me to. I don't want to go.
What if you and me and your dad just drove by and you could just say, right there, we could help you just get him out of the cold, you know, take care of him for the last time.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
I know you are. I know you came in today to do the right thing. You didn't have to come in. You came in all on your own.
Don't think anything less than.
What?
Just please don't think anything less than talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are they all free out there, Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
What was she doing to CC?
She's just on top of her. My hands around.
Hands around what?
My neck.
You saw it?
Saw it on the monitor.
Okay.
That's why I ran in there.
What'd she say?
Threw her off and saw CC was just already blue. It's not moving. And just that blind rage, I just did the same thing to her.
Did you ever go into Bella's room?
So put Shanann back in, that's no, I saw her on the monitor. The way she was laying, the bed just sprawled out.
Is that when you packed up their special stuff? So where'd you put them? Get them out there.
In the truck.
Which part?
Truck side rear.
In the passenger compartment?
Car side. In the rear. Right by my seat.
What do you think of on the way out there?
There's, and the babies are gone. And I put my hands around my wife's neck and did that same thing.
Did Shanann fight back at all when you did that?
The rage that I had after seeing that, not much.
How do you know Shanann was dead?
Smooth.
Seems like a quick. We looked on her Facebook page like 2 days ago. They had this like 4 or 5 foot long baby doll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, laying on the couch with a sheet over.
Shanann did?
Yeah. Before any of this happened.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So I'm thinking that's not a baby. I don't know.
That's a very good point.
If I can't see it now, I'm blocked on there. If you look on their Facebook page.
What did it say, or what was the
And
caption?
you said, what do you say to this? Something similar to that. And all baby doll about that tall was laying on one of our couches and had a sheet over across the head all the way up. You can see his feet hanging out. Saying like Bella had done that. The kid went through that.
Do you remember that, Chris? What do you think?
Just make fun of it. Thought it was funny.
Did Bella do it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think so. But I don't catch it up. I don't think she would do something like that. No, she would have their dolls and stuff out on the floor and just covering up waist and something like that. But no, covering her head and everything up like it's
Because what?
like a body laying there or something.
It sounds like kind of,
I'm sorry, I lied to you. Randy. I mean, you knew what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. You stayed for a reason.
Chris, you're a good man.
I'm not a good man.
Well, you stayed. You wanted to talk. You knew it was going to be hard, and you still stayed. That's what a good man does.
6 hours and 11 minutes before.
I just staring you in the face.
We're glad you did.
I can see when that rage would come out and see if the kid's dead.
You don't know. You don't know when you look at Jesus come out. See him move.
I told you your dad still loves you, no matter what.
Could you let someone kill somebody?
Hey, Chris.
Nothing will ever be the same again.
When you came in, was your wife on top of her right when you came in? So you saw it in person?
Because I saw the monitor, that's when I rushed in. Someone was there to talk to her again.
And when you came in, she was right there on top
She
of
was
her?
right there.
Okay. Her hands on her throat.
She didn't know what to do.
Were you trying to save Cece?
Already blew in the face. She wasn't moving. Her head's playing over left like that.
So where did you put them out there? Chris, that's really important. Are they down in something? Are they under something? In something?
I didn't know what else to do.
I know, so tell me what you did. I know.
I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared.
I know.
It's like my wife just did this, and I just did that. What do I do?
Right.
Or anything that I would do from there was just going to be just insensitive and just a horrible thing.
You were in a tough spot. I mean, what can you do, right?
Sometimes your body just kind of takes over and... Still looking at your dad here. Can you show us?
What's going to happen?
We're going to help him get out of there. Would you prefer that when you're one of your coworkers?
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
I cannot have that. You said that you're about to think I'm a good man. They're going to see this. You're like, what the fuck did you do, Chris? Like, what? Like, why didn't you just go to cops to begin with?
Well, they weren't in your shoes. They don't know.
I don't.
They weren't living your life.
I know, but still, it's like,
People are going to
I can never,
We'll just go little steps at a time. How about that?
I can't have anybody show you out there, anybody, no coworkers, please.
Okay.
I mean, they're just going to form their own opinions anyways once they figure everything out anyway.
We'll find it anyway.
We'll just take little steps tonight then. How about that?
Yeah, do you have to have any of them with you?
No?
No. We prefer you.
Can you and me and Tammy and Ronnie get in the car and just drive out there?
Just general direction.
You just point it?
Take it from there.
Chris, I know they're gone, but they're still your babies. And you're still their dad.
You don't want them out there.
I don't want them out there.
And you don't want someone else to find them out there. You don't, I promise you. Take us. Will you give us a second so we can kind of get some things arranged to do that? Okay.
Ronnie, do you mind staying in here with him? Okay. What the fuck is this? This is fucking horrible. The problem is I don't even know if they believe me or not.
You never do nothing to hurt your children. Never.
Yes.
I got to text my daughter after I go to my house before my wife found out. This ain't gonna be on the news anytime soon, or is it?
No, not tonight. I can't imagine it's not, no. I mean, I don't really have as much say in that, but I can't see that. Do you want me to take you out to the lobby and you can go to the bathroom and then text your wife and stuff, talk to them?
You might want to go outside.
Just watch the press people around.
Yeah, I'll see if anyone's out there while I go.
You want your water? You want to take your water with you?
Yeah.
We're going to try to do our best to make sure that we don't stand to gain anything by broadcasting any of this. That's not what law enforcement is ever really about. So we're going to try our best to handle that as discreetly as possible, but they're pretty good at what they do too.
So I'm not from around here neither, are you?
I've only been here 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going to find a lawyer or something for, not a public defender, but somebody else.
We can talk about
We'll
that.
later.
Yeah.
Get your phone. You got it. Okay. Let's go this way. All right, we'll stop.
So if you're up for it, we'll talk a little bit more. I think we have a picture of, is it Survey 319? I think we have a picture. Kind of walk you through that. I'm sure you have a ton of questions for us about, how your night, month, and weekend's going to look. So Tammy, I was just telling him, I wanted to show him that picture.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about how the rest of the night's going to go.
That looks familiar to you? What is that?
It's the BRC Survey 319.
Okay. Whereabouts? Just Shanann and the girls.
How old is this picture?
Today.
That's today.
Okay, can you mark it for me? The paper,
Okay,
𝐏𝐥𝐚𝐲𝐬. Is that S for Shanann? Okay. And where are the girls at?
Mm-hmm.
In these?
Mm-hmm.
So which one is, do you know which one?
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open them.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here.
Mm-hmm.
What is that from?
That was what Shanann was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in their pajamas? Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably blew away in the wind or something right here.
Where did you set them or put them?
It was right here with that.
So, how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt. How did you dig that?
A shovel in the back of my truck. Still with it.
It's like a work shovel? Is it still there? How was Shanann dressed?
Shirt and underwear.
So was she not in the bed with? Do you remember what color her shirt was or her underwear?
I think the shirt was either black or gray. Underwear was probably blue.
How much time passed, do you think, from the time that she was back in the bed until you put him in the truck?
I'm not sure.
Are we talking minutes, hours, something else?
From when I left the house.
No, like from when you got her in the bed to when you put her in the truck. How long a time was that?
So like from when I put Shanann in my truck, from the bed to the truck.
Yeah, from your master bed to the truck. Yeah.
Minutes.
Okay. Because you talked about covering her up or something.
Yeah. And the sheet.
Is there anything else about anything out here that has stuff that you've left in certain spots, or you sure their blankets and toys aren't going to be in there as well?
Not because it was right here with that sheet.
Can you do me a huge favor and just write your name on the bottom? Just so I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just going to write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
Was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything, just underwear? Okay. Do you remember what they look like?
Blue.
Okay. Okay. And the girls, do you remember what their pajamas were?
They're both nightgowns.
Okay.
Celeste, I think, was that pink one with the like birds on it.
Okay.
I think Bella's was, they had a unicorn or believe on it or something.
Okay. So it sounds like, it feels like to me, now we know pretty well how to go get them. Is there anything else we need to know?
I about how to get them?
Yeah. Does someone have to climb up to the top and unscrew something and then lower something down to get them?
They're like, it's just a hatch on the top, and they're like 20-foot tanks.
How far down are they?
Wherever the food level is in the tank, I'm not sure.
Okay. What was it when you were there?
I don't know. I didn't.
Okay.
I wasn't looking for that.
Okay. All right.
You need me to go out there or no?
I don't think so. Would you prefer not to?
I didn't know if you needed help getting there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think once we got that picture, because we didn't really know how much about the location that the other police officers knew, but it sounds like they knew somehow right how to get to 319. So, and I think that's how they got that picture. Does your nanny cam? Do you have a nanny cam, right? Like
it's a monitor.
Baby monitor. Is it a video one?
It's like it cycles back and forth.
Between what?
Bella and Cece's room.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is there any chance it records? No? Okay. I'm just wondering, what do you think ultimately made Shanann snap?
Just knowing that I had an affair, and she knew. She just needed me to admit it, and I wouldn't admit it.
Yeah. Okay. So we just started talking about, I asked him if there's any chance that the nanny cam could have recorded Shanann doing what she did. And then we were just getting into, what Chris thinks about why she snapped.
Mm-hmm.
He's just saying, distressed from knowing about the other girl.
Knowing, but she didn't really know, right? I mean,
In her heart, she knew. She just wanted me to admit it.
Can we talk about a couple tough things? I think we need to get it out of the way and just really get it out, just to make sure you have every chance to explain exactly what happened and we have every chance to ask questions. So the conversation happened. You go downstairs. She's still upstairs. And then you see what?
I hear just commotion upstairs, just like little noises like that.
Okay.
I didn't think anything of it. So I go back up and just talk to her again, maybe real fast. And go into their room, her master bedroom. She wasn't in there.
Okay. You went there first?
Yeah.
And why did you go up again?
Just to go up and talk to her again.
Oh, okay. So it's not as though that noise made you run up. You just stopped.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Didn't
Okay.
register with me for that. I just looked in the monitor and it was on Bella.
And where is the monitor? Where's the screen that you look at? Is it up or downstairs?
It's upstairs.
Oh, okay. So you go upstairs, look at the monitor.
Yeah, everything's right beside the bed.
Oh, your master bedroom. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
beside the bed.
So she's not in her bed.
It's still right there.
Okay.
If you want to look at it. And it was on Bella. Her covers were pulled back. She was just sprawled out laying there. And then it cycled over. So they got 3, 4, 5 second interval between when it cycles from room to room. And it cycled over to Cece's room. That's when I saw her on top of her. That's when I ran in.
Okay. So can we talk about, again, it's very, very hard to talk about, but it's good to make sure that we understand. We don't want anything to be incorrect or inaccurate or anything like that. Was your wife on top of Cece? What did that look like? I mean, was she straddling her? Okay. And where were they?
In the bed.
On the bed. And so your wife was on top. Was she
That's when I was walking up from the back.
Okay. And so you saw it from the back?
Yeah.
Okay. But she was doing this?
It looked like it was like this.
Yeah, okay. And then was CC face up, face down, what?
Off to the side.
Oh, she was laying on her side. Okay.
And that's when I pulled her off.
Okay.
She was limp and she was blue.
Okay.
There was no movement at all.
Oh. She was limp and blue, or limping and blue?
Limp and blue.
Limp and blue. Okay.
It's like her body was like,
right.
You pick her arm up and it just falls.
Okay. And then what happened?
I looked at her and I just got on top of her and
you got on top of Shanann?
Did the same thing.
Okay. Did you have to knock her down?
No.
She was already on the ground?
I just pulled her off on the bed. And,
oh, kind of one movement.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not as though you pulled her off.
No. Like I pulled her down and did that. I didn't know. I lost it.
Sure. Okay.
So Shanann was laying on the ground?
On the bed.
On the bed?
Yeah, like when she was on top of the seat, I saw what was happening. I pulled her, went down. I was on the bed.
How big is the bed? What kind of, what size is it? Full, clean, you know?
I think it's it's probably a queen of some sort.
Okay.
I have a picture of it somewhere. I think.
So where was the left in the
She was all the way up to the top.
To the top?
Yeah. And I went in and pulled Shanann down. It was crossways.
Like,
So she was laying
this
this way. That's how it was.
Okay. Well, that's key room.
Mm-hmm.
So then, is this picture as you're standing in the doorway to go in? What is that? Is that where? Okay. And then, so were they closer to this side or this side?
She usually sits in the middle.
Okay. And then, so your wife was right on top of her. You could just see that. And then, did you pull her this way or that way, or?
So to where her head was on this side.
Right over here.
Yeah.
On the left, as you're looking at it. Okay. Did she put up a fight?
I lost it so much that it didn't feel like she did.
Okay. You're a pretty strong dude. Was she yelling? Was she screaming? Was she talking? Was she scratching you? Nothing?
I didn't even feel, I just felt such anger that nothing, I didn't feel anything.
Okay. All right.
Like if she did, nothing's on me.
Was it quick? Was it slow? Was it?
I was so numb, it felt like it was over.
Fast? Over fast? Okay.
Felt like
Is it possible her neck's broken?
No. So,
okay.
I've never broken a bone, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. Was it a choke like this, or was it like a headlock?
Choke.
Okay. All right.
Can you put your hands out like you had your hands?
Like that.
Like that?
Right.
And your wife, you saw her with one hand or two hands?
Kind of from the back, I couldn't really tell. I don't know, she was on top of her. And the monitor's not like color, it's black and white. Well, at nighttime it's black and white.
Okay.
When it's dark.
So because you went up the stairs, right, to talk to Shanann again? And then, did you think it was weird that she's not in the room where you left her?
Mm-hmm. So I walked in and looked around and saw the monitor and I saw Bella. And then switched over to CC pretty fast, and that's when I saw that.
And did you have any inkling that between the time that you finished the talk and the time that you found Shanann choking CC, you had no inkling she was going to do it?
Sure. We both love those kids more than you know.
Okay.
I mean, people in my family have always said she's unstable. My friends have said she's unstable, but I never would have thought a million fucking years.
Who says she's unstable?
My family, my friend Mark, people that have seen her around me. I don't want to make a bad picture of her.
Well, it doesn't look good. I'm not gonna lie. It looks actually pretty bad.
Is it possible that when we get these girls, Bella, Cece, and Shanann, is it possible when we get them that we're going to see anything other than the cause of death being her hands?
No.
Okay. And what I mean by that, and I should be very clear, is that it's some of it's hard to believe that your wife did it.
I know.
Right? You can imagine that.
I know.
Okay. So is it possible that maybe she did one, and then you got Shanann, so you did to Shanann what she did to one of your daughters, and then you had to just do it to the other one to make? Okay. So is that's not what happened?
No.
Okay. Is it possible that, is there any other way where we might see your hands on the girl's neck?
No, Lord, no.
Okay. And you know what I mean? Because when we find their little bodies,
I know.
we're going to see the diameter of someone's hand and someone's fingers, right? So is it at all possible we're going to see yours? Okay.
No.
All right. And I know it's hard, and I know you're probably getting angry at my question, but we have to ask. Okay.
What do you think of that, Chris?
Let my family down. Let my dad down. Let my mom, sister, nephew, nieces, friends, co-workers. Everybody.
Can I ask you another tough question? Just get it all on the table. When you see Shanann choking, strangling Celeste, and you get her off of Celeste, did you think about calling an ambulance? Okay.
I see you laying there blue and limp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never seen something like that in my life. I mean, she just lay over, nothing was moving at all. No gasp of breath.
So,
She was totally just blue.
So Chris, doing this job for a long time,
I know.
I know a lot about psychology and as far as what people are thinking, and most parents will never even want to fathom that their kid is dead. Even if their kid's stiff, blue in bed, stiff, been dead all night, they still call an ambulance to see if someone can revive their child. And when the ambulance gets there and they're like, guys, their kid's been dead all night, there's nothing we can do. The parent's like, why are you not doing something? What are you talking about? So that's what we're used to. So that's why I want you to explain to me what was going on in your head and
the rage that I felt for what she did. It just took over.
But you see that?
I
that kind of
understand. I see where you're coming from.
Most parents would still try and call.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I would hate for Shanann to get a bad rap if she didn't have anything to do with it. It's not fair.
I know.
It's not fair. Enough bad stuff has happened.
I know.
We need to stop the bad stuff from happening. So, you want to tell us the truth?
That is the truth.
I want to make sure. So you're good with the public knowing that Shanann killed her daughters?
I did not hurt these girls.
Are you okay with the public knowing that Shanann?
Yes, because I did not hurt these girls.
Chris, I'm not sure I believe you.
I don't think you meant to.
I
don't think you meant to.
I didn't hurt them.
You didn't save them either. You know?
I know that. I know that.
So that doesn't make sense either.
None of this makes sense. Nothing like why she would be there. None of this makes sense.
Are you sure Shanann didn't catch you in she left
No,
her?
my God, no.
Chris, you can imagine that we're pretty cynical in our jobs, right? And tonight we've had to talk a lot about a lot of things. And don't get mad, but what it looks like is that you found a new life, and the only way to get that new life was to get rid of the old life. And I think that you killed these girls before their mom came home, and then killed Shanann. And that's what we're kind of left, that's what we have to believe, because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, to her point, if I walked in and my kid was decapitated, I'd call an ambulance, right? So
knowing there's no hope.
it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. So either you're this monster who says, I just want this young, hot girlfriend, so I'm going to kill everyone and hope it works out, or something. So I think we're very, very close to the truth, but not quite there yet. So if you're not that monster,
I'm not a monster. I didn't kill my babies.
okay. So tell us what actually happened.
I told you what happened.
I know, but you know, we're getting later into the day. We've done this a few times, and we talk. Then we show you a little bit of what we're working with, some evidence and facts that we know, and then we kind of get our way to the truth.
Just the truth.
Okay.
Everything I've told you.
Truth. So what's going to happen when their cause of death comes back to you for the girls?
It's not going to.
Okay. You sure?
I'm 100% positive it's not going to come back to me.
Who's it going to come back to?
Shanann was on top of 𝐶𝐶.
Okay.
What do you want me to say?
I just want the truth.
That is the truth.
And then what about Bella?
Bella was laid out, sprawled on her bed.
Okay.
And I saw Shanann on top of 𝐶𝐶, so I ran in there.
Okay. And what happens when a coroner looks and says, sees your fingerprints on her neck?
It's not going to be my fingerprints.
Okay. What is it going to be?
It's going to be Shanann.
For sure. Well, we don't know about Bella, right? We don't know about
Bella, it's just, I didn't see Shanann on top of her.
Okay.
That's the commotion I heard upstairs.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Okay. Why take their bodies out of the house and bury them?
I was scared. I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
Nothing was gonna, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know what to do.
Scared of what?
Scared of what everything was gonna look like. My two babies were gone, and I just did that to my wife. And I was the only one left in the house. What do you expect was gonna happen?
Yeah. It did look bad, right?
This was a nightmare.
Yeah. Okay.
Just think as many problems as you've had with Shanann, at the end of the day, she seemed like she was a pretty good mom, right?
I was a pretty good dad as well. You never really know a person until you don't know a person.
just would hate for someone who can't defend themselves, like Shanann and Bella and Celeste. Like, I mean, if you're not being truthful about who took their lives, like, that's on them, too.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to do that to them.
I'm not doing that to them.
I'm just saying, I mean...
No, I'm not doing that to them.
I do think you were a good dad. I think Shanann was a good mom. I think you guys were doing everything you could possibly do for those girls. I mean, look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you put Shanann in the tanks?
I didn't know what else to do.
How far down is she?
I don't know, like 2 feet maybe.
How long did it take you to dig that?
No.
Give me an idea.
20, 30 minutes.
Does anyone ever, like, go up this ladder and, like, look in tanks?
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you going to avoid that? Or is it you that does that?
Anybody that goes to the location.
How often is that done that those tanks are checked?
And if they're making enough oil or whatnot, I mean, once a week, maybe.
So do you want someone to find them?
I didn't know what else to do. That was the location I was going out to that morning.
Anyway.
And I didn't know what else to do.
So you weren't thinking that far ahead?
No.
Okay.
Yesterday when you were talking, and again, this is before we kind of got to this moment today, you mentioned that we were talking, you said, I don't know where they are, and then you said something along the lines of, whatever happened to them, this act of pure evil. What did that mean?
It's this the evil that I saw when I walked behind Shanann and she was on top of CC. And I felt evil for what I did to Shanann.
Okay. So, one other thing that doesn't make sense to me is, well, I don't know. Can you walk me through again, when you walked in, what did she look like? What did Shanann look like? All you saw was her back. Was it the same shirt that you buried her in? Same underwear? And then was she wearing pajamas?
Shanann?
Yeah.
No, that's what she sleeps in.
Oh, she sleeps in her underwear. Okay, and no pajamas, no shorts, nothing like that. So then, when you grab her, just as is, that's how she gets to the truck, that's how she gets to the site. Okay.
So did Shanann ever go to bed?
Like when I put her back in the bed.
No, like when she got home. Did any of that happen where she got into bed and then you woke her up at 4? Like, is all of that true? Because it looks like there's some purchase of some hair care products at like 2:30 in the morning. Do you know about that?
Hair care products?
And her credit card was denied?
Mm-hmm.
No. You said you don't really use the credit card, so...
My credit card, no.
Would you have bought hair care products at 2:30 in the morning that morning?
No.
Did she get mad at you because there's no money when she woke up? Like, was that part of the...
This is the first I've heard of that.
Okay.
As far as hair care products and the card being denied.
Okay. And I'm not lying about that, that's why I'm asking. That is something that came up.
Is there any reason that she would have a black eye, Shanann? Not from a slap or a punch or nothing like that?
Never
Okay.
punched her or slapped her.
Is there any reason she would have a stab mark on her body?
No.
Okay. And no other reason for death? Coroner's not going to find rat poison in her stomach. The only way that she died, she was living, breathing, and wasn't living, breathing after your hands on her neck. Okay.
What were you talking to Nikki about before your wife got home?
Before she got home,
You talked for like several hours.
I think our day, we talked a lot. Conversations, random conversations. We talk a lot.
Does Nikki know about any of this? Seriously.
No, she doesn't know, like, I mean, she knows, like, from the news and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Did you share with her anything? Does she know your wife was pregnant?
She does now. And I told her that.
She didn't know at the time? How come you didn't tell her?
So I was scared too. Felt like, you know, like she wouldn't even like gone on a date with me if she knew that. So it's,
Did she know you were married with kids?
yes.
Okay. But just not pregnant?
Yes. I told her that, you know, like we had actively tried before we met.
Oh, try to get pregnant. Okay.
So she knew that.
You can imagine that when we go talk to people going forward, everyone's going to try to distance themselves from any of this.
Yes.
And so what's going to happen when Nikki says, no, it was our plan to kill everyone and run off together?
She's not going to say that.
Okay.
We were going to talk to her.
Absolutely.
I have to.
So can we get ahead of that for you? Can we get all of that out right now? I mean, so are you sure she's not going to say, oh, I kind of knew he was going to kill him?
No.
She's not going to say that?
No.
Okay. And she's not going to say, boy, we were making plans about buying a house or an apartment. She going to say that?
No, like, she was just, like, once I had my own place, like, we could, you know, like, hang out more.
Okay. So after the separation, after that dust settled, then you would have availability to go see Nikki. You guys had talks like that?
Yeah, I mean, like, she generally liked me.
Okay.
Please don't put her name out there in the news, though. She's been through enough in her life now.
Stuff like that we never try to put out.
But I'm just knowing the press, if they got them of an affair, they would drag her through the mud. I don't want that.
Yeah. We're certainly not going to try to make that happen.
It's vulnerable in any of this.
I know this press finds ways. That's everything.
So what do you think about everything now? Do you feel sorry for what you did?
I wish I wouldn't have lost control and got on top of Shanann and did that. And then did that.
What? Took them out to the well site?
Yes.
So after we look at their bodies, we're going to have a lot more questions. Things are going to be different then, but if you're willing, we'd love to talk to you then too. You did really good today, Chris. I think you had about 24 hours of just a hellish nightmare thrust upon you, and you certainly did what you did, but I think you took a lot of steps to make it better today.
Sorry I lied to you last night, and sorry I lied to you today. Not okay.
I'm glad you were here for a reason.
There's a reason why that I came in, because there's a reason why I didn't come in with a lawyer either. So it's like, and it's gonna happen. So
I appreciate that. Eventually they were going to find them out there. So, it was kind of inevitable. And you would have just been sitting at home waiting for that moment to happen. And then what? Then what does it look like?
it looks probably.
There's many people that say that you're an amazing guy and you would never do anything bad and has never lost your temper, and all those people that say that about you, there's just as many that would say that about Shanann. So we're going to struggle with that for a while. I'm struggling with it right now, I'll be honest.
I know you are.
I'm a mom.
Anybody would.
How do we prove best that Shanann did it?
Examine body, I guess. That's the only thing.
We're gonna see her hand marks.
The hand marks are not there.
Okay.
But there are going to be hand marks? Like they weren't smothered, do you think?
I shouldn't have been smothered, no. And Bella, I don't know, but she was on top of her, and her head's inside.
And there was no pillow on top of her.
I didn't see on camera off. Didn't see one on top of her. No.
Why were there sheets in the trash in the kitchen?
Because those are the same ones out there. I didn't know what else to do. I knew eventually that's what you're going to find Shanann. I mean, you guys.
So is she still wrapped in the sheet down in here?
It was just laying off to the side. Or maybe the wind took it.
So it's right here now. Yeah. It was just next to the side. Like you didn't even try and hide that?
I was so scared. I didn't know what to do.
Did someone come upon you or something?
No.
Were you afraid they were going to start showing up?
I knew they were on their way out there, but I mean, it's a long way out there.
So I know, and before I forget, I know that they collected a lot of electronics out of your house, like routers and that kind of stuff. Like that's not going to show that she was using her phone like at a time that you said she was strangling the kids or something, right? Okay. What is the password to like all the electronics in your house? I know there was an iPad.
iPad should be 2385.
2385. There's not one for the Apple Watches, is there?
Should be 2385.
Is that for yours too?
3387.
I'm sorry, what was yours?
3387.
2387. And what other stuff do you have? Is there a router, like is there a password for that stuff?
𝐿𝐸𝐴𝐺6 came with the router.
Spell it for me.
𝐿𝐸𝐴𝐺6, number 6.
Like that. 𝐿𝐸𝐴𝐺6. And then what else was in there? Is there a desktop computer?
Yeah, that one, if it has a password, it'd be 428-4915, capital S, lowercase w.
Okay. And what about, is there anything else in the house as far as electronics go, tablets?
Well, the iPad's the only real set. The other ones are the kids' stuff, but they're just like Amazon Fires or whatnot.
Okay. And you have an iPhone what? Which one? Is that your personal one?
Yes, iPhone 7 Plus or something.
What's the password to that one?
3387.
And what about your work phone?
Same.
Is that this one here?
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously Shanann had an iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was her password?
So it changed to 013119.
What was that password?
The due date the next day. Nikki told me that one. Nicole told me that one.
Okay.
So it's to me, Nikki's Nicole.
Yeah, we noticed that. I was getting us very confused. So no other electronics. What about the Echo? Does it have a password?
If it does, I don't never know if it did or not.
Okay.
You just say Alexa and it starts listening.
Oh, it's an Alexa. Is it that an Echo still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The product's called an Echo.
Okay. Any other ones that you can think of?
Where do you guys bank?
Chase in USA.
Which one was the, when you went out to dinner with Nikki?
Chase.
That was Chase. And USAA, is that mortgage? Is that bank? Is that?
Chase is our mortgage lender.
Okay.
Do you have checking through them too, right?
Yes.
What do you guys use USAA for?
We use that to pay mortgage too, but
Okay.
it's just another, she had that before she met me.
Okay. And any accounts that you had personally beyond all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was going to ask you that. Sorry. You're a blank. Oh, the security system. There's a Vivint, right?
Vivint, yeah.
Vivint.
It's either going to be 3387 or 2385. One of the two. And the passcode, like is Mustang for if you ever have to talk to them. Verbal passcode.
And then what email is associated with that?
ShanannWatts@gmail.com.
Do you know her Gmail password?
I read that 428-1915. It's just any of her, if most of her passwords are that.
Okay.
Amazon, everything.
And what is that? Is a phone number you said?
Yeah.
What phone number is that?
Her ex-husband's mom.
Okay, that's weird.
You stick with the password.
She just remembers it? She's had it that long.
They were really good friends.
Oh, okay.
So she just kept it.
Do you have any other questions for us?
Here's the bathroom.
Yes.
Of course.
We do need to do one quick thing. Now that we know what we know, we're going to, I need to check that you don't have any weapons on you or anything like that. Do you have any weapons on you?
No.
Okay. We'll do that. We'll go to the bathroom. I'm not going to go in the stall with you, but I'm going to go with you. And then we'll come right back here and we'll make a decision about how the rest of the night goes. All right, so you might stand it up so I can check. All right, let's go to the bathroom.
Okay, so you listen in?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that way. There you go.
Take a red. take it with me for now, though. And then just for everyone's protection, I'm going to leave that recording.
Okay. Watch this.
Yes.